Hello dear students, in today's video we are going to discuss the next chapter, that is motion. So first let us discuss about the main concepts of this particular chapter. The first concept is rest. So what do you mean by rest? Suppose if the position of an object, if it does not change with respect to a point and time, so then that object is said to be in the state of rest. Suppose here you can see, suppose for this particular object, so its position remains fixed. So if it is not changing with respect to its surroundings, that particular, and again you can see with respect to time, so then this particular object is said to be at rest. So that means it remains in its own position for a very long time. For example, your house and say any particular object, telephone post or electric poles, these are all objects at rest. Suppose then, as you look around, you can see many things that moves here and there. So what do you mean by motion? So how you perceive motion? So motion, suppose we can define motion such that when the position of an object changes with respect to its surroundings as well as with time. Suppose say for example, if somebody is playing football, so students or the ball that is moving with respect to ground. So altogether what happening? The ball, while one kicks the ball to another player, the position of the ball as well as the player himself is moving from one place to another place. So easily you can perceive, if you look around you can see birds moving here and there, vehicles moving here and there. So these are all happening, suppose. So now you might have got that particular concept. So motion is a relative term. So if you want to describe motion, you need a reference point. Reference point is the fixed point. Reference point, that is a fixed point with which we are describing the motion or rest of an object. Suppose if you consider this entire universe, our earth itself is revolving around the sun. So we cannot say that and everything is at rest. If you look at atoms or molecules, these are all moving. And when we look about different types of motion, so there are different types of motion. You might have studied in your lower classes. There are, for number one, linear motion or rectilinear motion. What do you mean by rectilinear motion? The motion of an object in a straight line, that is called linear motion. And the second one is called circulatory motion or circular motion. See, when an object moves in a circular path, see here, suppose if you draw a circle and it has got one center, so from center to the outermost point of the circle, that is called the radius. See, if an object moves in a circular path, suppose if you take a ball and tie it with a small thread and if you rotate it above your head, so that particular object will execute circular motion. So this particular movement is known as circulatory motion. We can say satellites revolving around Earth or the motion of our hand or second hand of clock. These are all examples of circulatory motion. See, we already know that another type of motion, that is, last year we already discussed that is vibratory motion. What do you mean by vibration? The to and fro motion of an object. The to and fro motion of an object is known as vibration. So these are the major fundamental motion. The motion can be classified into these three categories. So in this chapter, next let us look about the next concept that coming is physical quantity. So what do you mean by physical quantity? Suppose the property of the material that can be measured, that is known as physical quantity. Suppose say for an example, your height. You can measure your height, say 170 centimeter, 150 centimeter. So that a particular quantity that can be measured, say your mass, your weight, 50 kilogram, 60 kilogram, this quantity which can be measured, that is known as physical quantity. Or the previous chapter we studied about melting point, boiling point of different substances. These are all physical quantities. Temperature, then even time. We can measure time, the speed of an object, speed with which your car moves. So these are all physical properties. So in these physical properties we can again classify into two types. The one is called scalar quantity and the second one is called vector quantity. So first let us look about what do you mean by scalar quantity. So the scalar quantities are those quantities which has got only magnitude but no direction. So we are not specifying the direction. Suppose say for an example, if someone measures your height, he will say that you have got 175 centimeter or 150 centimeter height, but he will not specify in which direction, in north or east or west or south. He will not specify the direction, but he will only specify what your height. So this particular such type of quantities, these are known as scalar quantities. And again you can see, for example, what do you mean by magnitude? Say for example, suppose if your height is 150 centimeter, see the quantity, the numerical value, that is 150 centimeter. Here 150, that is a numerical value. The numerical value of a physical quantity, that is known as the magnitude. So for example, we can see one more certain examples of scalar quantities are speed, then distance traveled, then height. So these are all certain examples of scalar quantities. And again you can see the next category of physical quantity, that is called vector quantity. So what do you mean by vector quantity? The quantities that possess or that requires both magnitude as well as direction. So the quantities that has got both magnitude as well as direction. Such quantities are known as vector quantities. Examples are velocity, displacement, acceleration, etc. Force we will study about later on. Then again you can see, suppose for an example, mass of an object. So your mass, weight. So we will consider mass of an object, say 30 kilogram. Weight is a vector quantity. Then mass of an object, say 30 kilogram, in which direction we want to specify. So what type of quantity it is? Mass is a scalar quantity. So similarly we can see, suppose there are certain physical quantities, say like distance and displacement. So let us now discuss about what do you mean by distance. Distance is the total length of the path travelled by an object. That is called distance. Suppose for an example, from point A, suppose if one person travels to point B, suppose he can choose any particular path, either through this way or he can move along a straight path. Suppose if he chooses this particular path, the alternate path, not the straight one, suppose if he travels from A to B along this path 1, say for example if he takes a 15 kilometer in order to reach from A to B. So that particular, he has to cover a total distance of 15 kilometer. So this becomes the path length or the length of the path that travelled by this particular person. So that is called distance. So at the same time we know that the distance between the point, the straight line distance between the 2 points A and B is not 15 kilometers. So that may be around somewhat say 10 kilometers. So in the direction, say you can say east to west. So in this particular situation we need to specify the least distance between these 2 points. So the least distance between any 2 points will be a straight line. So if you specify in this case the least distance between A and B is 10 km, so that will become what? Displacement. So the another physical quantity that is called displacement. So the displacement between the point A and B, that is known as the shortest distance between the initial and final position of an object. So that if it is say 10 km, so what it has, we need to specify the direction also. Not only the magnitude 10 km is required, but also we require the direction east to west. Say for example, the straight line. So in which direction? Direction is also necessary, as well as magnitude also is necessary. So in which direction, if you travel, you will reach from A to B within 10 km. So such quantities are known as vector quantities, the quantities that requires magnitude as well as direction. Or suppose if you just talk about only the distance travel, we need to know about, not about the straight line distance, but the path which the particular person travel. So if he travels from A to B through using a path 1, say called path 1, he covers a distance of 15 km. That is irrespective of, we cannot specify the direction of this particular path. It can be in any particular direction. At this particular point, he may be traveling in this direction. At this particular point, he may be traveling in another direction. So we cannot specify direction in such a case. So the total, what we define as distance, is the total path length of an object that has covered. So in this case, it becomes 15 km. Say for example, the person can travel, or he can take another path. Say for example, just like this. So if he starts from the point A and say takes travel 20 kilometers and reaches the point B. So there are infinite ways in order to reach from one particular point to another point. So in these situations, the distance traveled will be different. So but the initial and final points remains the same. So in such situation, we need another physical quantity that is called displacement, in order to specify the total distance between, or the shortest distance between the initial and final position of an object. So even though if this particular person travels through path 1 or path 2, or he travels in a straight line from A to B, the distance covered in these different situations will be different. 15 km, 10 km, 20 km in these three cases. But what remains the same? Displacement remains the same. Displacement remains the same in all these situations. So what do you mean by displacement? It is the shortest distance traveled by the object from the initial point to the final point. So we will get one particular direction. If we go in a straight line, we will get the shortest distance. So we need both magnitude as well as direction in order to specify certain physical quantities such as displacement, velocity, etc. Then distance and displacement we already got. Then what do you mean by speed? Speed we can define as the distance traveled upon time. Then what do you mean by velocity? Velocity is another physical quantity. Velocity we can define as the displacement over time. That's another thing that we discuss in this particular chapter. So this speed is a scalar quantity, but velocity is a vector quantity. And similarly, another physical quantity is known as acceleration. So if you happen to travel car or vehicle, any vehicle, so what will happen at the start of the journey? The speed of the car will be little bit less. So after some time, what will happen? The driver changes the gear, and as a result, the speed of the car increases. So all throughout the journey, the car may not be moving at the same speed, is it? So we can see the change in speed upon time taken, or change in velocity upon time taken, or acceleration we can define as the rate of change of velocity. Here V stands for final velocity or final speed, and U stands for initial velocity or the velocity at the starting point or initial speed divided by time, the time taken for that particular change. So this is known as acceleration. And similarly, so there can be uniform acceleration, also non-uniform acceleration. Then the motion also can be uniform or non-uniform. So what we can see, one small example. Say, for example, if an object covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, that is known as uniform motion. If an object travels equal distances, if an object covers equal distances in equal intervals of time,